G'day. Now, I've been asked to show the actual plane that we're about to fly, FPV, and here it is. It's the stick, aptly named, as you can see. It comes from the days when I used to fly a slow V, hence the V-tail. And yeah, so a bit of an external look around the plane itself. This is our test plane for Arduplane, so you know, we're just using the stick. We got our GPS receiver there, and our transmitter, video transmitter with the cheesy duck aerial on, because we're not going far today. Normally we use some better aerials, but underneath the wing we have a Jumper R1 S-Bus receiver there. Next to it's the Maytech F765 running Arduplane. That's our battery bay underneath, basically gets slung under. You can fit any battery there you want. And our flight camera. And that's the one I look through the goggles to fly. And at the front we got the Speedy, so 35 ampere. And the trusty old Hobby King bell motor. And a bit of steering gear there for the landing gear. And that's about it. So as you can see, she's ready to go. And today we're going to put the Osmo Action on. So we're looking through the Osmo Action now. You can see my flight camera to the right in picture there. And so we'll get a high def view of this one today. And I'll also put in the top left there. I'm going to put, so that's my flight camera. So that's the one I'm flying through. And of course it's got the on-screen display. And we're just going to taxi down here, and that's James with his SOP width, the third scale. If you look in the top view, he flips me the bird there. Thanks, James. That did not go unnoticed. And yeah, we're just taxiing down and checking everything's all right. In the screen, you know, we've got enough satellites. I'm waiting for my spotter to stroll over, and he's talking to me, which is why I've lost my concentration. I'm flopped off the taxiway there, and we're getting permission to line up onto the runway. There's no one coming in, so we have permission. Checking all the numbers as we line up, and we are good to go. So let's get her in the air, full throttle. You can see throttle percent bottom left on the flight cam, and we start our climb out. We did a lot of flying today. I'll put a link down to the previous video, which was only the OSD footage. The flight was earlier on, and we didn't have the high def cam on to give you this nice view. But I did try to get this flight in the sunshine, but the cloud just didn't want to play ball, so we sort of half and half. And here we go as we climb out. We're also carrying a bit of weight, so we're fully loaded with a 3,500 milliamp 3S battery and the action camera on top, which is, you know, the Osmo Action, which is, you know, is a GoPro style camera, so they're not that light. It's a big lump there sticking out in the airflow. But we've got a better picture to look through this time, and we've also got the OSD, so you know we can see what's happening. So at the moment I'm flying it in the fly-by-wire, and we've now, that was just for takeoff, we've now flicked to cruise, and the autopilot's now taken over most of the duties, although I am telling it to change directions. You can see the jail there a bit clearer this time. That was the jail in front. Legend has it we've lost one or two planes in there. I think one of the guys had to go knock on the door after he lost control of one of them and asked for his plane back, and apparently he got it handed back to him in a bin liner. So I think it re-kitted itself. Anyway, they know that we fly around here. They're well aware of us, and yeah, we don't go near there. So we're just cruising out, and there's the jail again coming into view. So we're at around 109 metres high. Of course, we can't go higher than 120, and we can't go very far because you know, we've got to stay in the view of the of my spotter in case it all goes wrong. But we do have return to home, so I don't have to buddy box with him. The plane can make it back on its own if it all goes wrong. Um, so you can see the clouds coming over as we swing round. You'll notice a bit of jiggling around on the main view. It looks like the plane's jiggling around, but it's not. It's the rock steady feature of the Osmo steadying the main picture. And you can see how much it's steadying it by how much the actual stick's moving around in the frame. So it's doing all that as it records. There we got some houses and the sandpit on the right. Just over the nose there, that's the big sandpit. Frenchman's Bay is the big blue water on the left there. That's Albany and Frenchman's Bay. And as we swing round, behind the jail is the wind farm right on the horizon there, the Albany wind farm. And it's mostly just bush. So this is so the whole reason for this plane flying is testing Arduplane. I've come across from Vector and did give Iron a try, but we've got the Arduplane running on this one now, and it's very good. Very happy with it. So it's still in cruise mode now. As I go over here, Arduplane, it was a very turbulent day, very thermally, and just about now it starts to have a bit of trouble. As you can see, it's trying to climb, throttle's gone up, and it's not liking it. I think it almost goes in a stall. And she pretty much flops to the right, and I'm actually leaving it to see what it'll do, to see if it'll collect it up. And if you look at the top left, I'm still in cruise. I'm leaving it to its own devices, and it's went to 100% throttle to try and sort it out. But now I've clicked into manual, and then again I've also clicked into fly-by-wire A, so I'm actually got more control. And as you can see, I lost 50 meters just then, and it didn't really collect it up. So don't know what happened there, but it seems to be flying alright still. It is windy, I have to say. It doesn't look it, but there's some intense thermals happening on this day. I remember we were thermaling gliders and all sorts, and they were very violent, some of them. So I think what happened is it hit a downdraft and couldn't cope with it. So we're back in the cruise, looking at the sandpit, and we're out of that big drop in, that big downdraft, and back cruising. The little motor on the front, by the way, it does look a bit small for the plane. I mean, it is pulling its guts out, flying that plane with all that weight on it. You can see it's cruising, but it's at 100% throttle, dealing with it all. It's actually it is in fact trying to, I'm actually forcing it to climb. I'm actually deliberately now pulling back on the stick to get it to climb. So it's doing its best, but it is doing it. I'm really impressed. It is doing it. We could go a bigger motor, but to be honest, I think we're going to flick out of this plane and get a more powerful plane happening. So for the moment, it's doing pretty good. And we do actually see that big Sopwith biplane in the sky. You will see James is in fact flying at the same time I am, and he does pop into the screen every now and then. Let's have a look, see where we are. He's got his smoke generator as well, so he leaves a trail. We've pulled a bit of height back, so we're back over 80 meters, and we've actually been blown away. We've actually been blown down a bit. As you can see, I'm turning to the left here, and we've been blown quite off course, so we're back to 100% throttle to claw our way back. And the little Hobby King motor's busting its guts trying to get us back, and I'm also trying to get a bit of height back. So, but you know, Cruise is doing its job. Really impressed. It's working fantastic. And you may be able to see. I am keeping my eye out, and the spotter's also, there he is, bottom left. He's just come into the frame. So if you look at the top screen, there he is on the horizon there, in the big old Sopwith, and he's just going to come down. There he is. Yeah, it doesn't look too close, but that's a big aeroplane, and we don't want to hit that plane. I have hit one of his other big planes, and that was disastrous for me, but we also don't want to hit his Sopwith because it's a vintage plane and you can't get the covering for it anymore. So he might be best impressed if I javelin the stick through his wing. So we'll avoid him and swing around. And we've flicked into fly-by-wire A mode now on the Arduplane, so we've got throttle control and pretty good authority on elevator now. So we're looking to do a landing, and we're near the end of the flight now. So I can see James's Sopwith up the top. We've just poked in the view there. So he's above us now, and we're just going to go into a right-hand turn, and we're going to line up on runway 22 after we've done a go around. So we see we've dropped a bit of height. We're now down to 30 meters, so we've lowered ourselves down. We're gonna fly around here and then go to the left, and we'll ditch the other view there. There we go. So we've got the full view as we come round, and the wind's blowing a bit diagonal for us, so we sort of overshoot the end again, like the last video, but nothing we can't deal with. And see if we can get her on the deck. But thanks for watching that, and as you can see, great fun, loving the Cobra goggles, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next video. Catch you later. Bye.